Sony and Nintendo beat out Microsoft in the key region of the world that really defines how many consoles are going to be sold, and that is the Asian market. That's why I think they will always be behind. Aha! But here is the plot twist, Jacob. If Microsoft actually does what has been leaked and rumored, and even Phil kind of hinted on it, and they actually go into the 10th generation with a handheld variant of the console, that could be the ticket, because that market is extremely big on mobile gaming, handheld gaming. I know Sony obviously doesn't really have that, besides the Portal. Sony's just always been a powerhouse over there. But that's one of the big reasons why Nintendo's always been a powerhouse, is because of all the handheld gaming with the 3DS and the DS, the Game Boy, now the Switch, and then there's just the mobile gaming market's a totally different beast over there. But I feel like if Microsoft, number one, does what John said, comes in with banger after banger after banger lined up for the lead off 10th generation, and also leads off the 10th generation with a hybrid focus like the Switch, where you have this rumored in development handheld version of Xbox that plays games natively. It's not a BS streaming thing like the stupid PlayStation Portal that should have been $100. They actually really lean into that as well. I think that could be their ticket to kind of get it back, get their foot in the door for that market they have really struggled in. So that's it. It's a big we'll see. It's a big we'll see, because I think that could be one of the possible tickets to help move some extra stuff over there.
Yeah, but if you're gonna do some sort of hybrid thing, the one thing they absolutely cannot do is cut performance.
I know.
For it, because if they cut performance for it, then that's all going to be the only talking point.
Yep. Yeah, especially since it's Xbox and we already have a cut performance console now that seems to be affecting certain ports. Hint, we don't have physical editions for Blacksmith Wukong yet because it has to match for both consoles. So that is going to be the downside to it. But technology is continuing to evolve. So I mean, if there's a way to figure it out,
if there's a company that is going to make a console like a hybrid one and figure out how to give it as much power as they can, I think it's Xbox.
I think it would be Microsoft,
because they've got the money to do it.
Yeah, they do. They got a blank checkbook basically, just ready to go. The checkbook that's signed and just said, "All right, go, make us money, please, make us money. God, I'm begging you." Watch them force it to be cloud gaming. I actually have faith that they won't, because when Phil Spencer was asked about that around like the showcase time, like the possibility of a handheld and stuff, he very skillfully, in a perfect PR manner, danced around the question, but then kind of, I feel like, gave us hints of what's to come, where he said, well, if we do have one, in my mind, it has to be native. It has to be able to play games natively. So that, I feel like he gave us a lot of hints in that interview that there is one coming, and it will in fact be native. I feel like they realize that it can't be cloud. I also don't think it's going to be cloud because I fully believe that Xbox Keystone thing. There was like the leaked diagram of it recently. It's like a literal little box that's only for cloud gaming. It's probably gonna be like $100. I think that's going to be their entry point to cloud. I think if there's going to be a handheld, I do think it will be native, which is exciting.
I think they need, as weird as it is to say, I think they need to stop pushing cloud on anything that is not specifically
meant for
made
cloud.
for cloud.
I agree to that.
If you're gonna push cloud, as much as I don't like there being like 6 different options of like a console or something, I mean, it's like I bought a Series S because I wanted the cheaper entry point digital only version of the console. That's so I got that. And I'm glad that option was available, because the Series X is significantly more expensive. I'm not happy that the Series S is like kind of hampering game studios from being able to go all out. Not happy about that. But I'm glad I had the option for it. Whereas like if I could buy like $100 box and be able to play or be able to stream whatever I wanted to it, it's like, even if the performance is a little lower, yeah, I would take that.
Yeah.
It's like there's plenty of people who would take that option.
Yeah.
Granted, I think most people are kind of like a little tired of the idea of cloud gaming at this point.
Yep.
I feel like most people feel like they've been burnt on it. So I kind of think we need to get away from the idea for a long time.
Yeah. Unfortunately, we won't, but I agree.
But if they're going to try to push it, make your own thing for it and see how successful cloud gaming is on its own.
Yeah, that's where Xbox Keystone comes in. Like that, like we saw the schematics for it. It's a thing. It's coming. You know, as long as they have a good price point for it, I'm telling you, launch that thing at $100. It's going to move some copies. It's going to move units.
Well, that's the thing is like separate cloud entirely.
Yeah.
Make it its own thing. Quit trying to push it on any other console. Say if you want cloud gaming, buy this.
Yeah.
And this will have everything cloud gaming related.
Yep.
Then you can see how valuable cloud gaming actually is.
Yep. Jacob threw up a couple interesting comments. I think the Steam Deck having the success it's had has given Microsoft and Sony confidence with the native handheld consoles, especially with how cheap it is. I'm going to give you a double up to that. Number one, I think the Switch is what's given them confidence from native handheld. Like maybe we should, in Microsoft's case, look into it for the first time, and in Sony's case, look back into it. But I think the Steam Deck further solidified their confidence that, okay, we can have a powerful handheld at a good price point. And they gave them confidence in that department. Because, I mean, you know, can't take credit away from the Switch when it's about to be the highest selling video game console in the history of video games. But the Steam Deck, I think, gave them confidence from a power and price standpoint. Okay, so we can have a powerful console that's an affordable price point.
I think the Switch is the real big kicker there. Like you got to give the props to the Switch for what it's done. I think the Steam Deck gave them the confidence to be like, maybe this will work.
Yeah, like the final nail in the coffin of, okay, yes.
Because the idea with the Steam Deck is, okay, well, your Steam library that you have on your PC, you can access on this little mobile device and be able to play games on it. And I feel like the initial reaction was being like, yeah, but we have Steam and we have it on our PC. Why would we want this little thing for it? And then it turns out everyone wants one. Mm-hmm. So that they can look at that and go, oh, so people don't care if they already have the way to play the game. Mm-hmm. They just want another way to be able to play that library of games.
Exactly.
So I think while the Switch probably put the idea back in and they started putting some ideas together around it, I think the Steam Deck success really was the factor where they're like, oh, people really will pay for two devices.
Yep.
Like they'll pay for two different consoles.
Yep.
To be able to play their games on.
That's a great way to put it, because that's why I think, you know, we get the Xbox whatever. You know, it's not going to be called Series. They've changed the name every time. Xbox whatever. You're right. It's going to have its home console, and it's going to have a native handheld that's runs just like the home console. It's just a handheld, and they're both going to be priced at a full price console, and people are just still going to buy both because they want both ways to play. Like that's the way that I look at it happening, is basically kind of in terms of what you just said of like, we have our PC to play our PC games, but we also have the Steam Deck where we can play the same library on the go. That's the way I see it happening. And for the PlayStation Portal, I don't know what Sony was. I don't know what Sony was doing with that thing. I think it's ugly as shit too, man.
Sony, you had it right there. All you had to take the Vita, make it a little bit bigger.
Yeah,
that's all you had to do.
Yeah, that's all you had to do. Just the PlayStation, you know, whatever.
Everybody's trying to emulate the fucking Vita now.
Vita was revolutionary. It had OLED screen. Vita was awesome. Love the Vita.